Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. So today I want to talk to all of you creators out there, people who are writing, people who are making videos, you're putting out original content, and your big struggle right now is coming up with ideas. What do you write about? What do you make videos about? So I'm going to give you some practical tips for how to generate new ideas. So when I first started doing this, I too really struggled. Now I didn't start doing videos. I didn't do videos for years and years. I started off writing emails. This was about 10 years ago. I was in my early 20s. And I started out building my first email list. I had not many subscribers, maybe 40 or 50, something like that. And I decided I wanted to write a daily email broadcast. Now, in the very beginning, it would take me a long time, 90 minutes, almost 2 hours, to come up with an idea for what to write about. And over the years, I developed certain methodologies for coming up with content. I started a daily email series at one point where I said I'm never going to miss a day. And even if I was flying around to the other side of the world and I had to write and send my email at a 2-hour layover somewhere halfway through, that's what I did. And I ended up sending about 750 emails, so about 2 years. Now, how did I come up with new ideas for my emails? I'm going to share with you what I did. The most obvious place to come up with ideas is through your own experiences and your own stories. Everyone's got stories. Everyone has an unlimited amount of stories that they can draw upon. And you've got little stories that happened just today, like something happened to you this morning. Perhaps you got cut off in traffic. You were at home, maybe stuck in quarantine, and something funny happened. Who knows? But all of us have little stories. And then we have major events in our life, things that transformed our life and we remember very well because they were so impactful. But you have thousands upon thousands of stories. So when I'm stuck and I don't know what to write about or what to make a video about, that's the first place I look. I think to myself, what has happened in my life that is interesting? And sometimes you don't think it's that interesting, but to other people, it is interesting. They can relate to it, or it's something that hasn't happened to them, but it has interest. So that's the very first place that I always will go to. I will think of stories. Now, when it comes to making videos, for me, it's pretty much the same thing. I always start off by writing them down. And in just a moment, I'm gonna take you into my laptop and show you like how I do it. I'm actually gonna go and show you the stories that I come up with for my emails and for these videos. But when I want to make new videos, normally I will batch create my videos. I'll normally create 7 or more. So I've got one for each day over the course of 1 to 2 days. So I create them all together and then they get edited and released every single day. But I sit down and I think to myself of stories. I think to myself of news. What's been happening in the news recently? So for example, the other week, Joe Rogan got paid $100 million by Spotify, or he signed some deal for $100 million. So I made an episode about that. About a week ago, the founder of Dyson, the vacuum cleaners, it was revealed he'd made this electric car that wasn't going to be released and spent something like $600 million. So I made an episode about that. So sometimes I'll look to the news. Other times, I will look to colleagues in my industry or people that I really admire, and I will look at what are they putting out. The truth is, there's no such thing as original content. Now, you can always put your own spin or take on it, or tell your own stories, but most of the content ideas out there, I would say all of them, they've been done by someone else before. So usually what I will also do if I'm stuck for ideas, I will go and look at other creators on YouTube and I will get ideas from them. So for example, I did a video recently about getting up at 5:30 a.m. every day for 10 days. I got that idea from a YouTuber called Matt Diavella or Diavelia. And his videos are amazing. But he did this video about that. I think he got up at 5 a.m. and did it for 30 days. But I love that video and I thought, okay, I'm gonna model that. I'm gonna do my own take on it. So you can look at what other creators are doing and come up with your own version for it. So those are three main ways that you can come up with ideas. I'll give you one more tip. Often my videos will start out as emails. I'll actually start writing an email, and the act of writing an email, getting all your thoughts out into a concise email that you have to send daily because it's a daily newsletter, that will force you to get really clear on your script. And so what I'll often do is I'll take that email and then I'll add some bulk to it. I will add more stories to it, or different case studies from real life to support it. And I'll make a video about that. So let me show you what I actually do on my laptop. When I'm stuck for ideas, I go to my notes and I start writing. So for example, this one here, episode idea running. You might have seen that YouTube video I did where I'm running on the beach and it's this big epic drone shot and it's a voiceover. So I got that idea actually from a Nike ad. I don't know if it was an official Nike ad, but I saw the video and I thought, that's cool. I love that shot where it's got this guy running towards the camera and it's just a voiceover. I really liked it. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do that with the drone on the beach. And so I start writing my script out, and then I just recorded the audio and that became a video. So I got that idea from an ad.
Timing the traffic lights to dart across the busy roads up to the park for laps. Here in Costa Rica, it's up and down Estorils Beach. There's something about having to push your body to keep on going when
this one here, dealing with criticism. So this was just an idea that I had, and I saw someone commenting on Grant Cardone's post. He was donating $1 million to support Black Lives Matter, and he actually got criticism for it from some people. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a video about that, dealing with critics. So this one here, this is all about changing your environment to increase your productivity. And this was just a story from my life. I thought to myself, in my last business, what was my big secret to productivity for getting things done? And a big turning point was getting my own office. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna tell a story about that and talk about how your environment has a big impact on how much you work. So I write out my script, I write out my main points like, okay, you need peace and quiet. I remember a scene from a movie, As Good As It Gets, where there's Jack Nicholson's character telling someone, you know, don't interrupt me. So I thought, okay, let's put that in the scene. So that's how I came up with this idea. This one here, this is a video that I haven't even recorded yet. This is just an idea. I'm trying to do some experiments. That's another idea for content. You can document. That's a big tip from Gary Vaynerchuk. He's always saying that instead of thinking about creating new content, you know, writing out scripts and coming up with new ideas, forget about all of that and instead just document what you're already doing. Like, he puts out more content than anyone else, and usually it's just someone following him around with a camera and just editing all the main, you know, talking points that he says and making documentary style little clips. But he churns out, it looks like hours and hours a day, more content than just about anyone I know. So document, don't create. Don't try and come up with things from scratch every time. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do an experiment. And this is also something that I got inspired by from Matt Diavella. He does these experiments where he'll try something for 10 days, 30 days. So on this experiment, it's gonna be called, I read for 2 hours a day for 10 days. That doesn't sound like a big accomplishment, but for me, I stopped reading a long time ago and I started just watching shows, movies, and just videos. I started watching a lot more than reading. So I thought, okay, I'm going to force myself to read every day for 2 hours. I'll time myself and I will record every single day, put that into a video and talk about my biggest findings and how it changes my life. Okay, and here's just one more example. So you can see these are very messy notes. I'm just coming up with ideas. Like, one day I'll go to this local milk farm and we'll do a tour. Another day going to Manuel Antonio National Park. Another day, revival of a Mavic DJI drone. I crashed my drone into the water and I thought, okay, I'll make an episode about that. So these are just stories in my life, things that are happening, and I get inspired. I write down my ideas here, like this one here, coffee, And often I don't end up reading this as my script. I just write down my idea and I think of what are like 3 main bullet points, and then I just ramble on in the videos. And then we're able to edit them down, take out any extra fluff, any parts that don't need to be there. So I don't script every single video. Some of them I do on the teleprompter, but I would say 80% of them, I like to just talk freely because it's faster. You can get a lot more done. Now, the final piece of advice that I want to give you, if you're really stuck for ideas, then just get up and go for a walk. I often find that when I walk around, I just see connections, or I think of things that I just wouldn't if I was sitting at my desk. So I like to walk my dogs. I've got 3 dogs. I walk them twice a day, and I often get great ideas when I'm walking around the resort, or I come down here on the beach. And I remember things, I remember stories or just different things that happened, and I get some great ideas. This morning, for example, I was walking my dogs and I walked past this big chessboard we have in the gardens. And I thought to myself, I can do a video with that, because I remember when I was a kid, I got into chess. I started learning about that champion, Garry Kasparov, I think. He was this prodigy in chess. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a video about what makes someone like that great. So I thought, okay, I'll go and do some research and I'll learn all about this person and I'll make an episode. I'll make some lesson out of that. So by walking around, you will remember things. Certain things will be triggered in your mind and you can get some great ideas. So I hope you enjoyed that. Final little bonus tip is force yourself to stick to a schedule. The reason why I do daily videos, it's not because I like doing it. I do like doing it to some extent, but most of the time it's pressure, having to come up with new ideas, and it often stresses me out a bit, thinking about all these new ideas I have to make in all these videos. But the reason why I do it daily is because if I was to do it weekly, I would still leave things to the last minute and I wouldn't be just churning out these new ideas. By doing it daily, by committing to your audience that you're gonna have a new video every single day, it forces you to do it. And when you're forced to have to create episodes, you've got that public expectation. Somehow, some way, you always come up with topics. So put some pressure on yourself and commit to a schedule. Okay, I hope that helps. Make sure you subscribe and I will see you tomorrow.